Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Curious Blend. I'm your host, Keller Davis, the owner of Createscape Coworking here in Austin, Texas. This is a show where I talk to our community here at Createscape and explore all different types of subjects, talking to creative minds, curious souls, and people I think are really interesting. And today I'm here with Derrick Hurst, and I'm really grateful for you to be lending some of your time here today to chat.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, how's it going?
Pretty good. I'm happy it's Friday. It's good to be here, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
everything is good.
I'm glad to hear that. You became a member here right around the time that we were opening the treehouse, the new room at the space, right?
That's right. I
Yeah,
think I was the first person to commit to the treehouse. In fact,
that's awesome. So, thanks for being the guinea pig for that room's evolution over the last how long has it been? Almost a year. So,
getting close to it now. Yeah,
cool.
I love it back there. I love having my corner back there and having my space and all of my things around me, and the people that come and go, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, what led you to Austin originally?
I'm here for family. My partner's family is here, and her father needs a little support, so we're here to support him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you move directly from Michigan or?
Correct. Yeah. I was up there actually for my father, supporting him while he needed some help.
Okay,
And then after he passed, we moved down here to help with my partner's family.
I see.
So
Yeah. Had you been to Austin before?
a few times, yeah. Yeah. Since her family's here, we would come down here periodically to visit, and always enjoyed our time here. So
Yeah.
it was a natural move for us.
What have you enjoyed the most about Austin since you've been living here?
Uh, Really not having winter in April was nice.
Yeah.
um, But more than that, I think the kind of the energy around all the new startups and the new ventures, and be here at Createscape, I have access to people who are doing all these interesting things and conversations, and I've really enjoyed that. I think more than anything else about Austin.
Good. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that. Yeah. I thought I would be in Austin for all of like a year when I first moved here 14 years ago, and it's really been the people that has kept me here. So
Yeah. Yeah, I've lived a lot of places, and that's always what I remember about the place before any of the restaurants or any of the other things that people enjoy. It's always the people themselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to Michigan a couple times because my husband's from there, and it's like Detroit area, Traverse City.
Hmm.
I guess is Mackinac Island a part of?
It is part of
Okay.
Michigan. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's gorgeous. My parents just got back from there as well, and they had kind of been they had been more excited about Wisconsin in the past because my mom's originally from Wisconsin. They were so blown away by Michigan that they were like, it's just so clean, it's so beautiful, so much natural,
Yeah.
beauty. So
Yeah. A lot of people sort of associated with Detroit and this gritty experience that Detroit has had, but there's so much more than that to it. I've lived in Michigan before I came here. I lived there for about 7 years,
okay.
but I've been going up there my whole life. My dad's family, way back in the frontier days, set up shop in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, way out by the Porcupine Mountains.
Oh wow.
They were involved in the iron mining up there, and so we got a camp on a lake, that was gifted to our family by one of the mine owners in exchange for educating his kids because there wasn't a school up there.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
so we still have that. In fact, we just replaced the house a couple of years ago from a boathouse that had washed ashore in like 1907.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and it fell down, and so we built a proper house up there.
Oh, so you still own property
Yeah,
in that area? Okay.
yeah. In fact, I'll be going up there in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to spend the rest of the hot part of the summer up there.
There you go. That's a good idea.
That's really feels like home for me.
Oh, that's great. Do you Airbnb it out the rest of the
No,
time or okay, no.
no, it's because it's old family property. The
Yeah.
taxes are super low.
Oh,
Everything's
okay.
paid for. It's just, just keep it to ourselves. It's in a location where it'd be hard to Airbnb. There's really nobody around.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
yeah.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you're gonna get to do that. I mean, it's yeah, we've had such kind of a gloomy, wet summer here in Austin that it's like I'm not used to it. So, but I feel like the heat's like the real summer is kicking in right now. So I'm glad you're
Yeah.
gonna get to escape some of that.
Yeah, I've been pleased to be here on a cooler summer for my first year. I feel like I'm getting a soft introduction into the heat, and that's nice.
Yeah, yeah, it kind
Yeah,
of lets you ease into it a little bit.
right.
I'd love to learn a little bit more about how you started your company, Direction Plus Current.
Yeah,
Is that how
direction
you
is
say it
current,
when you?
direction plus current.
Okay,
I
yeah,
kind of mix it up, but I write it direction plus, but I say direction in.
yeah, okay.
Uh, yeah. Um, yeah, so I've been in LED lighting for quite a long time now. Is really since about 2007. Um, and in that time, I've worked for companies. I've done some freelancing. I took a little break for a while and did a furniture company that was doing soft seating, sofas, chairs, that kind of thing.
Ooh, that's cool.
It was fun, um, but then I really kind of missed the technical aspects of it, um, and decided to leave that venture and start a new company that's really focused on a little bit of engineering and design support, but then also actually getting products made and brought into the country for sale for my clients. So what I saw as an opportunity was that there's a lot of small design driven companies that would love to do lighting, but they don't really have access to the manufacturing base and they don't really have access to the market because lighting is sort of this big, weird, old school market where you have sales reps and area reps, and it's this wild, antiquated system. So giving them the opportunity to get their product into that pipeline and introduce them to some of the people that can get their product into these wacky sales chains has been a really fun project to do. Very challenging, much more than I
Yeah,
expected when I started it out.
sure. Yeah, I was gonna ask like how did you originally become interested in that?
That's a great question. It's sort of taking bits and pieces of things that I've done over the years and kind of putting them into one place. I started out very much on the design side. I undergraduate, I did artwork, I did ceramic sculpture,
Okay.
and then in postgraduate work, I did industrial design. So I started out working with industrial designers and had some roles in some pretty well-known studios around the Bay Area. Um, and I enjoyed that, but I also always felt the need to dig a little bit deeper than just doing the surface work. And so I found myself drawn into more technical stuff, and I swung the other way, and I went to work at a factory in Taiwan, and helped with their helped essentially bridge the gap between these Chinese engineers and the designers at the clients, and sometimes literally translating and sometimes figuratively translating, because designers and engineers speak different languages, even if they're speaking the same language. But I found myself kind of filling that niche, and I really enjoyed that. So, in that situation, I was working with some designers in Italy, designers all over the world, and then factories in Taiwan and in China, and really enabling these designers to make the things they wanted and to get them the way they wanted it to look without having that frustrating middle step of the engineers coming back with something that works really well but doesn't look anything like what the designer wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So after that, I came back to the US and I started freelancing and kind of trying to find more opportunities for that niche where there's a gap of understanding. And I've really exploited that niche in a way that I can work with designers, I can work with engineers, and I can help both of them kind of understand each other. And I've even gone into some companies and done that internally within a couple of lighting companies where I get in there and help the design department and engineering department understand each other. Um, and I just felt like that was an important piece. And just being somebody that likes to build things and likes to tinker with things and likes to see things in real life, I thought, why not put to work some of the connections I made while I was overseas to actually get these things made and add value to the clients in that way.
Have you always worked with just LED lights?
For the most part, I've done a few things with traditional lighting, but really because of the timing that I came out of school,
Yeah.
LED lighting was just starting to take off. So it was a huge opportunity. There
Sure.
was very little that had as much growth in that as that did. Um, but even when I was a kid, I remember my dad would bring home LEDs from Radio Shack and batteries, and we would plug them in to make lights in our Lego buildings.
Oh, like they
But
actually worked?
yeah, yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Like back in the 70s, we were doing that, and LEDs were still pretty nascent technology at that time. Those were the classic buds with the two stems on them. Um, and so, in a way, I kind of think that I've had it in my mind for all those years. So it's cool to sort of keep on that train.
Yeah.
Something that my dad tried to encourage me to do, 50 years ago is still pretty much what keeps me going now.
Oh, that's
So
incredible.
yeah.
A lot of my experience with lighting has just been for like photography and video and
Mhm.
stuff. And when I was starting off in it, I was like, I guess like it's halogen bulbs, the ones that get really hot and
Right.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
So like for like film sets and other kind of things I would work on, it was just it was hard not to like burn myself on all the lights that
Oh
I was
yeah.
using. And um I mean, then I stopped seeing those at all in the last 10 plus years. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful that like we're under lights today that like are not, you know, making us sweat, the whole
Yeah.
time.
I mean, I can imagine that must have been really hard in a studio like this when you've got, 5, 10 lights cranking out all that heat. It'd
Yeah.
be quite something.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't miss those kind of
Yeah.
experiences. But were there other forms of creativity that you were interested in when you were really young as well?
Yeah. I've always liked to build things with my hands. When I was doing sculpture, I really loved that. If I could have figured out a way to make a living at that, I think it would have been kind of a dream job for me.
What did you sculpt?
Hand-built ceramic sculptures. I would build these sort of fantastical Dr. Seussish towers,
Oh wow.
and I really enjoyed them. I never got anywhere with it, but it was something that really, I don't know, it was architectural and it was designy and it was just fun for me.
Yeah.
I did actually build some furniture out of ceramics, functional full-size furniture pieces.
Oh wow.
It
Do you
had
still have any of those?
no, no, unfortunately not. My mom sold the last one at a garage sale a few years ago,
I see.
which, that's all right. Somebody else.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully it's at someone's home and they're
Yeah,
sitting on it right now.
yeah. I'm just glad it's not in my home.
Yeah, like it's interesting because like it sounds like you work in like practical design, right? Like so it's like things that people use
Yeah,
and like very functional like objects, but it's also there's such a artistry to it as well.
yeah. I think that's what draws me to it. I always want things to be useful. I very much appreciate art for art's sake, and I have art and I purchase art and I really enjoy it. But I don't want to make art for art's sake. I want to make art for usage sake.
Yeah.
And so to me, a beautifully designed product is also a piece of art, and a poorly designed product is offensive.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean everything in my house is beautifully designed because we're all on a budget, but it's I just think there's so much stuff in the world now that why not get the stuff that really works and looks good.
Absolutely. The anytime that I'm either buying something for myself or purchasing a gift for someone and it like I go for the more expensive, nicer, more like kind of bougie product of something,
Yeah,
it always is 100 times better. I feel like as far as like like how long it's gonna last, the aesthetics of it, and so it's leaned me a little bit more towards making really conscious choices with the types of products I bring into my home, even
yeah,
just yeah, functional things around the house.
yeah. And I see that reflected here in this space. It's
Oh,
good that you
thanks.
spend some time thinking about how this space is done. And I always like to see when you make changes in the treehouse. How I think there's a lot of value in that.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. I've the space is always changing so much, even as
Mhm.
you've probably seen in a year, and I've always kind of treated Createscape a lot as almost like an art project of sorts, but
Yeah.
with it being functional for the community as well. And so
Mhm.
listening to people and the feedback that I get has always been pretty important as I'm kind of on that journey to change things around,
Yeah.
add new artwork design, and kind of like replace certain things. And so definitely all plays a factor in it.
Yeah. Have you ever tried something that just like threw everybody off and they're like, what the heck is going on here?
That's a good question. There's been different ways I've rearranged rooms before where tables and other things, like, it's maybe lasted a day
Okay.
because it just did not work. It was something
Right.
like on a weekend I came in and tried out, like, I think there was some, like, in the Howdy room at one point we had some room dividers. We had some like tables kind of flipped another way, and everyone hated it. And so it was like, sorry, y'all, this was purely an experiment. back to normal. I'm sure there's some other examples. But yeah, it's really just been like a matter of me trying to like pay attention to what people respond to the best.
Right.
And that's why I kind of cycle between all the rooms a lot, is to kind of see what's working and what's not working.
Yeah. Yeah. So much of that stuff is so intangible where it totally looks good on paper and then you put it together and people don't know where to go or where to position themselves. And
Right.
I find that very interesting.
Yeah, even just like proximity and space of like passageways and other things. I'll draw up floor plans and try something out, and then as soon as like I put actual furniture in a space, I'm like, the feng shui is off.
Right.
This has to be moved around. The lighting's weird here. We need to like adjust this.
Yeah.
It's definitely an ever expanding project. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What's one of the coolest or weirdest projects you've ever gotten to work on before?
Oh, those are very different questions, but I'll answer both.
Okay.
I think the coolest ones were there's an Italian lighting company called Floss, FLOS, and they make really high-end lighting, very expensive. And the only pieces of theirs that I have are prototypes that didn't work out from the factory, and I was able to sneak them out.
Oh, that's great.
But there was a particular light that they did that's this big flat disc. It's about maybe 24 inches around and about 8 millimeters thick, and it was this enormous technical challenge, and it was so much fun. And the designer, this guy Jasper Morrison, is a well-known English designer. I think he's English. Anyway, he's European, and he's very, very particular. So, we're talking fractions of a millimeter particular, where he would send us back to the drawing board if we were half a millimeter wider than what he's talking about, and that's tiny amount. And we managed to get it made. The piece is still in production now.
Oh wow!
It's a gorgeous piece. I wish I had one. I wish I had the space for it. You'd really need a large room. It's a big piece, but
like how big are you talking? Like,
so it's the disc itself is about 24 inches, and then it's on a kind of a tripod stand.
Okay.
And so the footprint is about 36 inches around, and it's about 5 feet tall.
Oh wow!
But it's a large scale light. It needs a big room to look at home. If you put it in a regular bungalow living room, it would look really out of place.
Yeah.
But it's cool as an object. I appreciate it for what it is, even though it doesn't have any place in my life.
I totally want to look this up now because I'm so curious.
I'll send it to you after.
Okay, I would love that.
Yeah. The weirdest thing that I've worked on, boy, that's a tough one because I've worked on some weird stuff. It's hard to call it weird because I've actually seen this other one in a production too, but it's a cute little piece. It's tabletop sized, and it's a little tent, and it's fabric, and then it has a little light module on it that you can light up, and it's just this very cute little tent light. I've just worked on that recently while I was working here, actually.
Like a camping style tent?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
just a little like an A-frame tent, like an old
that's
Boy
cute.
Scout tent.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's really fun about it for me is that it has a position, and it's not my design. It's Nick Baker is the designer on that one. He's based in New York, but he wanted to do something where it could flicker like a campfire. So we
Oh,
set up the
cool.
lights so it'll have this little flicker. So it looks like you're having a little campfire inside of your tent, which is a terrible idea, but for this light, it works. If it were a real fire inside a tent, it'd be a problem. But when I set out to do that project, and he showed me some of the samples, I thought, okay, this is a really weird idea for a little light, but it is a really cool weird idea. Weird in all the right ways.
Yeah.
And
It's like a novelty to have it, right?
it is, but it's also a functional light. I
Yeah.
made sure that it puts out enough light, and when it's not in the flicker mode, it actually works for a little reading light that you'd have on your bedside or something like that.
Oh, cool.
So it's still a very practical light, and it all, because it's a tent, it packs into this tiny little box, and it was a fun project,
Yeah.
but definitely weird.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's fascinating. Did you come up with the name Direction in Current?
I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What is like, is that a reference to something, or?
It kind of, the nature of LEDs is they run on direct current.
Okay.
So I don't really mess around much with alternating current, and the times I have, I've regretted it, just from a personal pain threshold perspective.
Like, you've been shocked,
Oh
or?
yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I do a lot of tinkering, and with low voltage DC LED lights, there's not enough energy there to shock you. It doesn't. You
Yeah.
can interrupt the circuit and you won't even notice it. But then if I forget that I'm not working on that and I'm working on AC, then I get myself shocked sometimes. So I like the DC side of things. I think
Yeah.
I like that it's safer. I like that it's efficient. And then I also wanted the name to sort of convey that we have direction and that we're moving towards a solution for
Yeah.
these projects. And so I don't know. It's a little bit clumsy in terms of the URL and all that, but I'm happy with the name overall.
I love it. I think it's really cool.
Thank you.
Did you have a desire to do business at that point, like, or just kind of be your own boss?
My desire was, and really still is, to build something bigger than me.
Yeah.
Nice to not have a boss outside of myself, other than the fact that I can't get away from my boss now. I'm just kind of always stuck with him.
Yeah, I understand that.
It can be a little demanding. But yeah, I'd like to build something a little bigger, and I was, I'm really trying to lean into the manufacturing side of the business. The tariffs have certainly made that difficult.
Yeah.
I had a lot of business canceled early in the year when all this started to take off, and slowly it's starting to maybe come back. We'll see.
Yeah.
But it's hard to operate in chaos in that. So
Right.
fortunately, I do have also the consulting work that I can pivot to, and I've been able to do a lot of that in this spring and summer to keep the wheels turning. But I'd far rather be working with companies to make something novel and get it out to the market.
Yeah.
But I'm fortunate to have the option to do both.
Yeah.
It's an important
for
part of
you.
my business. I'm starting to recognize that. Yeah, and there's so much confusion about it. The tariffs. I have one client that wanted to order some stuff, and when I told her that it was going to cost more because of the tariffs, she said, "Well, that's your factory's problem." And I said, "No, I'm the one that gets the bill.
Yeah.
That's my problem." And she said, "No, it's a tax on the Chinese people." No, it's not. And we had to go around several times, and I finally showed her an invoice that I'd gotten on another thing directly from Customs and Border Protection. She said, "Oh, I didn't understand how that worked."
So you had to just fully explain that whole process.
Yeah, and which is okay. It's I don't expect people to know how tariffs work unless they're involved in it.
Yeah.
But it is frustrating to have to deal with that and have to tell my customers, like, it might cost this much when it comes in, or it might not. We don't know.
Right.
And that, I can deal with it if I know. That's the hard part.
Yeah. Is there like any really small particular detail with lighting that you notice more than anyone else notices? Like something that you kind of obsess over or really pay close attention to?
Yeah, there's a lot of things probably. One, I'm very sensitive to color temperature, to flicker in lights. That's a big problem in some LED lights. Your studio lights here are going to be much better about that than what you would see. I'm sure you and a lot of your audience has had the experience where you film something in an interior and you have this black light.
Yeah.
Like an old TV that's not tuned in right.
Right.
And that's the nature of the pulse width modification, which is a type of dimming that they use for LEDs that creates kind of a up and down cycle. So the light's actually flashing very rapidly that we can't see it. But if they don't flash it rapidly enough, we can see it. And then even then the camera can see it. So now what they're doing is they have a softer wave instead of a straight up and straight down kind of graph for that.
Oh, okay.
And that's how you're able to film with LEDs in here, where you wouldn't be able to do that with just a commercial LED light. So that's become quite noticeable to me now. Most of the lights we're exposed to are regulated now, so they can't have a flicker rate below a certain speed because it causes some people very headaches and very bad side effects. It doesn't do that for me, but I do notice it. The other thing is, just like any object, I'm really tuned into how a light is made and where the light is shining and how the light projects from the object. I think one of the fun things about designing lights is that you're designing an object and then you're also designing the light. So it's almost like two design projects in one.
Yeah.
And in some ways they're separate, and in some ways they're inextricably connected. And I really enjoy that piece of it. And I can tell from lighting that you see around that not everybody enjoys that piece of it. They think all about the object, and then you get these crazy shadows on the wall because there's something in the way, or there's all these different things, and you can really see it when you tune into it.
Yeah. Is your home designed without overhead lighting?
If I owned the home, it would be. The home that I owned in Michigan was, but now we're renting, and so we're just stuck with the can lights in the ceiling.
Okay, yeah.
Fortunately, we don't have the boob lights, which is like the hallmark of any
I know.
This place is a little bit better than
I've gone into other people's homes before and forced them to remove boob lights just because I cannot stand looking at them.
Yeah, they have a purpose and they're very good for what they do, but they're awful things.
Yeah. Are there any designers, creatives, like inspirations that you've kind of just that you kind of keep in the back of your mind whenever you're working, or like even if it's unrelated to lighting? Like, is there anyone who inspires you?
Yeah, actually, a lot of people. I'm always inspired by artists and designers that keep things fun. Alexander Calder is an example. He's been a big inspiration of mine from the beginning. I love that his pieces just look like he's having fun, even though he was a very serious character. He really knew how to have fun with his work. In the lighting world, there's a German designer that's passed away a few years ago now, but his name was Ingo Mauer. And he was the same way, that his pieces were just really whimsical and fun and really walk the line between art and functional product. They're mass produced, but they're very artistic. And yeah, he played with all kinds of technologies where he would make something that looked like a light bulb, but it's large scale. And then he would have a holograph of a light bulb inside of it shining as the light. But there was no actual light bulb. It was just a light bulb inside a light bulb. And neither one of them was an actual light bulb. A lot of things like that where it's very poetic. So I really enjoy that kind of that world.
Like, it really makes you think when you're examining it.
Yeah. And, I like lighthearted work. I don't like stuff that's deadly serious. There's a whole world for that. And I do enjoy a good serious novel. East of Eden is one of my favorite novels, and there's very little lightheartedness in that book. But I think in my daily work, I don't want to be that serious. I want to have some fun with it. And that's, again, why that camp lamp, the tent one that I was talking about, was so much fun for me, that it has that
playful.
same kind of, and I think another is the Achille Castiglione, was an Italian designer in the 50s to 70s, and he did furniture, architecture, some lighting, all over the map. But he he was a real cat guy like myself, and so a lot of times his furniture would have special features for his cat. If you made a lamp, and back then everything was halogen, so it put out a lot of light, he would have a little cubby hole underneath there for the cat to go in because it
Oh
was
my
nice and
God.
warm. Um,
I love that.
yeah, it's super cool stuff, and
And no exposed wires for the cat to chew
no,
on.
no,
It's well thought out then. So.
yeah, he cared about his animals. um, but at the same time, he was very, very accomplished. Back then, they didn't distinguish between industrial design and architecture, so he did both.
Oh, okay.
And so, you to be an industrial designer, you would go to architecture school because there was no industrial design school in that era. So he would design anything from a small table light to whole buildings,
Wow.
and that kind of breadth is really impressive. Especially when you're doing it all with pencil and paper.
Yeah.
Um,
Where did you study?
I studied at San Francisco State University.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. You mentioned you were spent some time in the Bay Area.
Yeah,
How did you like that?
I liked it a lot, actually. San Francisco State's a really good school. I think it's a underrated school. Just it's a state school. It's an affordable school, and so it gets this huge range of people. And at the same time, it was within a few miles of two of the best respected design schools in the country, CCA and Academy of Art. So we also had access to a lot of their resources, and at mixers and stuff, we'd mix it up with their students and swap ideas.
Oh, that's
So
great.
we still had a lot of the benefits of a very Ivy League-ish education.
Yeah.
But then, of course, being kind of out there right on the water in the sunset in San Francisco is a cool place
Oh, it's
to
beautiful.
study. I lived in Oakland at the time, so sometimes I would
Okay.
leave. It'd be 80 degrees and sunny, and I'd get out there and it's 40 degrees and the wind's blowing and the fog's in.
Oh gosh.
So I have all these San Francisco State hoodies that I would buy when I forgot to.
Yeah, you're just
wear the right
layering.
clothes.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, that school, I would definitely had a great experience there.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Like here at Createscape, like we did the dog mayoral contest a
Yeah.
few months back, and your cat Carl, is it
Carl,
Carl?
yeah, that's right.
Was a candidate in the race as well.
Yeah. He's still a little upset that he didn't win, but
I was not a part of the vote counting, so I can't speak to any of that. But yeah, I enjoyed the poster that you made.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
so.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a little project when I should have been doing something else, but there's always a reason to procrastinate.
Yeah. We try to add in just the right amount of like distractions for people so they can have breaks without kind of derailing someone's workday. But
yeah, that's one of the things I tell people about being in a co-working space, and this one in particular, is that it's kind of like going to the office, except the people I run into and I talk to, I don't get annoyed by them. Also, they're just they're just there, and they're
because you're not having
cool people
to
to
work
talk
with
to.
them.
Yeah, I don't have to think about. If somebody goes up and takes a nap, I don't have to think, well, is he going to miss that deadline? I don't care if you miss the deadline. It's not my project.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that aspect of it, that it's all the benefits of being in an office without the downside of being around your coworkers all the time.
Yeah.
And
No, that's a great
cool.
way to phrase that.
Yeah. And I'm not a hard guy to get along with, but I think everybody has that piece where if you're around the same people every day and you're working with them, and there's going to be conflict. And
Yeah.
it's nice not to have that conflict here.
Yeah. And also like there's usually different members I see every day as well. Like there's consistent faces, but there's also like people that drop in and then we get into some long conversation about something, or I'm giving a tour to someone who's just here from out of town. And so it's, I don't know, it's neat to meet new people every single day.
Yeah, that is really cool. And in the treehouse, because there's not a lot of people working back there, I feel like a lot of the folks who come in for a short time wind up back there because it's quiet. And so I see different people about every day back there too.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
How old is your cat?
He's about, let's say, I think he's about 3.
3? Oh, okay. So he's young. Okay.
Yeah, he is. He was a kitten. Well, he was full grown, but still had a lot of kitten energy when we adopted him. And he's gotten past that now. He's just getting fat. My good life.
Nice. Is he pretty calm or?
Nowadays he is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's been lately at night. He's been pretty active because there's a young fox, a fox kit that comes into our backyard, and we have a sliding glass door at the back.
Okay.
And the fox kid will come up and bat the window, and Carl will go over, and then they'll run back and forth, and they'll bat the window, and they play together through
Oh, that's
the
cute.
glass. And it's amazing, but unfortunately, it only happens after dark, so I've never been able to catch a photo of it.
Oh, okay.
But if I turn off all the lights and sit really still, I can watch him and this fox running back and forth along the
Yeah.
window. So
You almost need like a night vision camera out there.
I'm really thinking about
capture some.
ponying up for it, because I know it won't be happening forever. You know,
Yeah.
if the fox grows up, he'll probably lose interest, but it's kind of fun to see it now.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
I'm kind of new to cat life. Like, a small kitten that was only 2 weeks old, like crawled under our fence about
man.
2 years ago.
Okay.
And so we kind of raised it from
Oh.
feeding kitten formula in a bottle to it to
Yeah, that's so tiny.
yeah, it's I don't know how she ended up there, but it was like she was covered in fleas and wet, and it was right after a thunderstorm, and we couldn't find who she belonged to.
Yeah.
And then and so she's kind of grown up to just be like just a very calm princess, basically. But I have a second cat that we just got 2 months ago, who is just he's only like 6 or 8 months old and is from the streets, and he is so food obsessed, so cuddly, so sweet, but also just wants to eat all of the human food that he can find anywhere.
Oh, that's life on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll probably grow out of that.
I'm hoping so. I try to distract him as much as possible, but it's it's so interesting. They're just so different from dogs. But
yeah, I love dogs too. My lifestyle doesn't really afford me the time for a dog, but I do love dogs. But I've always had cats.
You have?
Yeah, they're really great to have around, and they're so calming, and they're nice to have around.
Yeah, they really are. I feel like I never truly understood cats until having a few of them like in my home, and now I'm obsessed. So it's I also have dogs, so I went from being like a dog person to also a cat person at this point. So
yeah, that's a good combination. They balance each other well.
They do, yeah, and they're each in like a pair, so they each have like a playmate, basically.
Cool.
So,
yeah, that's important.
Yeah, that was the main reason why we wanted to get a second cat, was just the first one, Jinx. She just kind of she seemed like she wanted to play, and the dogs are older and didn't really necessarily want to be on her level. So.
Right. Yeah, we've been thinking about a second cat as well for that, just to help keep him busy when he's busy.
I totally understand how it snowballs now. Like, but you start with one cat and you want another one. And
yeah, I've always, in the past, I've always adopted them 2 at a time. I go to the shelter and see what bonded pairs they have.
Oh,
just adopt them bonded. But
that's a cool way
this
to
guy
do
was solo, and it just fostered him, and he ended up staying. We failed at the foster.
Yeah, that the couple that was fostering the second cat I got, I think it was hard for them to let go of him as well. So
yeah, I think it would be.
Before I wrap up, I was also going to ask, like, have you been to the like speaking of lighting, have you been to the James Turrell exhibit at UT? Okay.
Yeah, every time. Well, no, I'm sorry, not the one. Let's see.
There's one in Houston too.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the Rice. There's one at Rice, and then there's the one in the Manil.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've been to the one here at UT yet.
Okay.
I know I've been to the Rice and in the Manil collection,
yeah,
but
I'm such a fan. You should totally check it. I mean, I think it used to be easier to get a ticket to it, and I think that's free, but it's but if you look online now, like it books out for a couple months in advance. And
that's a good reminder. I'd kind of forgotten it was there because I just got into my routine, but that's a great reminder.
Yeah, it's just like, I think a lot of the times for it are like either super early in the morning or like as the sun's setting, because there's something with natural light that's like a part of it, from what I remember. It's been a long time since I went to it, but it's like kind of a round circular room, and that's why they only have a certain number of tickets available, and you kind of get to like lie and stare at the different colors that come from it. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it's super neat.
Yeah, he really is a brilliant artist. You know, he does so many interesting things with the phenomenon of light, and that's really his medium, so to speak. Yeah, obviously, he's building structures to facilitate it. Olafur Eliasson is another one who does a lot of that work. He's Icelandic.
Oh, okay.
Which I guess somebody from Iceland really does need to think about light a lot. He's done some work along those same lines.
Okay.
Also a very interesting artist to check out.
If yeah, I want to check them out. Does he have anything in Texas or?
I'm not sure if he has anything permanently in Texas.
Okay.
I know that he had a show at the Manil several years ago.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But
I love that exhibit too.
Yeah. I mean, that whole district is just so much fun.
Yeah.
I like going to Houston just for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to check out that Terrell.
Yeah.
His work is so much fun.
Yeah, that's my recommendations since you haven't been to it before. So
yeah. And then also Marfa is a fun one. I think we're going to do that in the spring to go back out there. And
love Marfa.
Yeah. And it also, I know that he wasn't as focused on the lighting aspect of it, but if you see that in different times of days and different lights, it really changes the nature of the work. And I can't imagine he wasn't thinking about that in some way.
Yeah.
So
have you seen the Marfa lights out there?
I tried.
I've tried too. I'm squinting and I don't know if it's my brain playing tricks on me or not.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, there's a similar phenomenon up in the Upper Peninsula. There's like 3 places in the country where this happens, and one of them happens to be just 10 miles from our place in the Upper Peninsula, in the middle of nowhere. And it's the same thing. You go there and you think, is that it? Everybody has their theory about what it is and everything.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. I like the mysteries of the world, so even if I don't know everything about it, it's fun to speculate. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not eager to just say, oh, it's just car tail lights. And
right.
Just sit and walk away. It's more fun to have unknowns.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we know so little about the world.
Yeah. That's why I'm always trying to stay curious and kind of like learn as much as I can. So. Yeah. And it seems like you share a very similar approach to life. So.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. If I stop feeling curious, I think I need to really make some changes in my life.
Yeah.
I think we're bound to go through phases like that, but it's a good point to come back to for centering is just ask questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for this conversation and for being on Curious Blend today. I really appreciate you doing this. Thank you so much,
for having
Derrick.
me. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thank you.